Hey guys, it's CJ here. It's New Year's Eve today, and a lot of people over the last couple of months have been asking me to do an update on my loadout video that I did over a year ago. So I wanted to see the differences between my loadouts from last year and this year. And there are some changes. Some of the classes are very, very similar, but there are that have changed. And I thought today would be a good day to make this video and upload it, as it's the last day of 2015. So maybe in the future, the end of 2016, we can see maybe if my loadouts have changed even more. We'll start off with the Scout, and the Scout loadout is very, very similar to how it was last year. My scattergun is up to Hail Zone now, 18,000 kills on it. I still use the Lugamorph a lot of the time. Sometimes I like to use the Kappa, the new laser pistol. I have a strange one. If I can find it somewhere, there we are. I like to use that from time to time, but this is my, I really like using the Lugamorph as it sparkles. It's got the community sparkle effect on it. And as for my melee, I like to use the Bat Saber. I've got a strange one. It's just so much fun, even though in comp I do have to change it at times to use the Boston Basher or something like that. I've got a Scorching Flames Tossle Cap, Sunbeams Bonk Boy, that's also strange. It's got a kill counter on it as well. I added that strange cosmetic part to it. And finally I've got the Bruises Bandana, which is painted lime green as well, so we get this kind of lime green ninja look. I know people hate lime green Scouts a lot, but you know, lime green is my favorite color, so it's what a lot of my loadouts look like. Also do have a few alternate loadouts that I use. We'll actually look at the Taunt first, I guess. I've got a Fountain of Delight Conga. I'll show that on my heavy, as he doesn't have an unusual taunt of his own. We've also got Deep Fried Desire. I actually uncrated this taunt a while ago. It's probably about 18 months ago now I uncrated it. And yeah, it's pretty cool. The chicken taunt, as everyone calls it. If we go back to the loadouts, we can see this is my Halloween loadout. It's got the alien entire loadout, which is pretty cool. I really like playing as the alien during Halloween, and I'm really sad that it's Halloween only, so I have to make sure I keep an eye out for when it's full moon so I'm able to use it. And over here I've got a loadout that I kind of use for comp. Oh, actually no, I'm going to go back to this and show you a taunt on here. I've got a strange Burst Chester as well. It's one of the taunts that came from the Invasion update, and it's the alien taunt, and I was thinking it's really funny that I'm, you know, dressed up like the alien and I've got another alien coming out of me. It's like Alienception, something like that. If you go on to my my third loadout, which is kind of one I use for comp, usually change that to a Rune Blade, because then I can hit myself in sixes and Highlander, so I can help the medic build Uber and stuff like that. And the weapons are pretty much the same, except the loadout is slightly different. It's kind of a pink loadout. I use this one because it doesn't stand out as much as the Scorching and the Sunbeams. With those hats you can see the Scout from a mile away. So I use this. It's a little bit more discreet. I've got another Bruises Bandana, which is pink, and my Brotherhood of Arms, pink as well. And it's got the Cloud9 effect, so it's got some little hearts coming out the top. So that is my Scout. We can move on now to my Soldier. And my Soldier has stayed the same a lot, but it's changed a little bit as well. Starting off with the weapons, I've got my rocket launcher. I think this is the weapon that I've got the most kills on out of all of my weapons. I have got quite a lot on different weapons, but this specific one I've got 33,000 kills on it. I've got my unusual shotgun as well. It's a backwards boomstick with the isotope effect, and it's also strange, so I've got a bunch of strange parts on there as well. 11,000 kills, and a bunch of different strange parts, different counters. And I like to use the escape plan, renamed it to skill stick. It's just a very good weapon to try and get away from people. Onto my hats, I've got my Tyrant's Helm. This one's actually Professional Kill Streak. Forgot to mention that on my Bonk Boy earlier. My Bonk Boy is Professional Kill Streak. It was a glitch in MVM a while ago during the Gunmetal update, which allowed some professional and specialized kill streak fabricators to be applied to any item, and I applied a bunch to my unusual hats. There was actually a video on my YouTube of me doing that, so if you are interested in seeing how that was done, you can go and check it out. So this is my Tyrants, my Scorching Tyrants. It's pretty much my favorite hat in the game. I've got an Exquisite Rack in the first misc slot, and that's got a terawatt effect. Really interested in getting something like Antifreeze. I'm not sure if that would look any better. That's something I've been looking into, but for the moment I really like having the terawatt ones. And then I've got my All-Father Beard. I wear this on my soldier, and it's got quite a lot of points, about 77,000 points on it as well. So that's my soldier loadout. I do change it from time to time. When I'm playing pubs, I generally change and start using one of my different rocket launchers. I like to use my black box, or as I call it, the gold box, because it's the Australian one. It's one of my favourite rocket launchers, and sometimes I couple that with the Contra, if I can find it. There we go. And those two heal yourself, so you can pretty much keep yourself alive quite a lot in pubs. And if I'm playing in comp, sometimes I'm forced by my teammates to run the whip. 7,000 teammates whipped compared to just 91 kills, but it is it's very useful in Highlander and stuff like that, so I do use that as well. We'll move on to the PYRO. Well, PYRO's changed quite a bit because recently in the Tough Break update they changed the whole meta of the PYRO with the flamethrowers. I used to use the degreaser a lot. You see it here, but now it's not that beneficial compared to the regular flamethrower. So I've started using the regular flamethrower now with my PYRO. I've got my Australian one, not that many kills in it because, like I said, I haven't used it that much. But regular flamethrower seems to be the best option. I kind of like to use the flare gun from time to time, but my favorite is still the shotgun. I love using it on PYRO. I think it's the best because you can actually fight other PYROs much more efficiently, and I feel, you know, up close and personal you can do a lot more damage. You've got a lot more shots there compared to the flare gun. And I run the Power Jack. Power Jack has been the best melee for the PYRO for a long time, and it pretty much guaranteed its fate as the #1 melee ever since the Extinguisher got nerfed and it only did mini crits and things like that. So that's been pretty popular. On my PYRO, my first slot, I've got my Wraith Wrap, Professional Killstreak. It's got a Halloween spell, it's Scorching Flames, and it's pretty much my most expensive item that I have in my backpack. It's worth about 700 keys, so there's only 2 of them in the world, I believe. When I bought it, it was 1 of 1. I traded for it many years ago, but it is really my favourite PYRO hat. Gone to my second, I've got the Pyromancer's Mask. I've got terawatt on that. It's also got a Halloween spell on it. And it's level 100 as well, and it really does give this kind of dragon PYRO look. Moving on to my third slot. Now this has changed because I picked up some green confetti antlers a while ago, and I started wearing them on my PYRO. I get that triple unusual effect on my PYRO. Then it's green confetti, so it goes with the green theme, especially when I've got my shotgun out as well. Very green. I know a lot of people hate green, but hey, I like green and I think it's pretty cool. I also have an alternate loadout. It's kind of a pink loadout. The Lazy Nappin hat. This was donated to me by somebody who watches my stream called Soviet Kitty. Very generous. It's amaranthine, and it's really nice. It's painted purple. I have the Bruiser's bandana, the pink one again, to go with this loadout, as well as the Apparitions aspect. And I really like to use my Flogman Melter combo. Ever since the Tough Break update, it's been pretty fun to play with the Flog. I've got a Strange Collector's Professional Killstreak Flog and a Strange Collector's Professional Killstreak Man Melter. And just the combination of those two is really fun to play as. But to look onto my taunts, I've got the Unusual Party Trick, which has got Fountain of Delight. And that goes really well with this combo because it's, you know, very pink. But yeah, it's a really nice taunt. I actually forgot to do the soldier taunts, so we'll just pop back onto the soldier for a second, and we'll take a look. I've actually got a multiple amount of taunts on this one. This was the one that I initially got, which is a Screaming Tiger Fresh Brewed Victory. It's very nice. Screaming Tiger I think is the best effect for the taunts. It's kind of like a Burning Flames style of taunt. But I've also got another one, and this again was donated to me by Soviet Kitty, a very big friend. And this one is, oh, you can't see it, but it's a showstopper one, so it's exactly the same taunt. I think the taunt menu glitches out a little bit. Maybe if I back out and go back in, it'll allow me to see it. No, it's going to keep showing the Screaming Tiger for some reason. But I've got a Screaming Tiger one and I've got a Showstopper one. I do have another Showstopper taunt later on another class, so I can show that to you then. But it's pretty good, and I think the effects both go really well with it, actually. But we'll move on to the Demoman now, and this is my infamous golden Demoman. Sometimes I like to use my golden frying pan, as it's as it's renamed, and sometimes I like to use my actual Australian Islander, but in general I use my Australian loadout, which is my Australian grenade launcher. It's a professional kill streak, it's got singularity, it gives, when I have a kill streak over a certain amount, it gives that kind of sunbeams golden look out of one of the Demoman's eyes. Obviously the Demoman's only got one eye, so the kill streak effect only comes out of that one eye. That works, but it does look and go very well with the sunbeams effect. And again, I've got the same on my sticky bomb launcher, 18,500 kills on this one, and again it's Deadly Daffodil with singularity. Onto my actual hats. Now this is a professional kill streak hat again, and it's got singularity and Deadly Daffodil. I thought it was quite apt to go with the theme of the golden Demoman, even though the effect doesn't actually work. It goes. I thought it was quite nice, and it's obviously a sunbeams one. And I've got my Dangerous 2. I made the specialized kill streak with Deadly Daffodil. Again, the actual kill streak doesn't work, but I just thought, as I'm a collector, it would be a nice thing to have, and that goes with my specialized kill streak, Bearded Bombardier. Again, Deadly Daffodil, painted gold, and that gives my golden Demoman look. And I'll look at the taunt on this one straight away on here, because then that gives the golden. It's a Holy Grail obliterated taunt, and it goes so well with my Demoman. I think this is probably my favorite loadout. Demoman is one of my favorite classes, along with Soldier. And just having this golden Demoman with the obliterated Holy Grail taunt is amazing. We can move on though to, I've got a secondary loadout which I kind of use with I'm going to have to stop that taunt. Oh, it's going to keep going. So that's obviously my Phantom Delight Conga. This goes with my pink Demoman loadout. I've actually got this gun here, which is a pink elephant, factory new, and it's got the hot effect. It's one of the unusual effects that you can have on weapons. And I use this loadout for MVM quite a lot, because it doesn't have strange effect on it. It doesn't have the strange quality, so it can't count kills. But if I use it in MVM, it works really well. I've got my Collector's Bootlegger, which gives me a little bit more HP. My Collector's Handshake, Scottish Handshake, which is both collectors. It kind of goes with the pink theme. I'm really looking forward, after the Tough Break update, to get one of the pink grenade launchers. I think that'll go really well with this set, but that'll be take some time going to find one of those. Maybe try and get one with the hot effect as well. That'll be pretty cool. The hat again is my Pink as Hell Brotherhood of Arms with the Cloud9 effect. I've got the Dangerous 2. I've got a second pair, and this pair is pink. And I've got my Pink Bruises bandana. So I've got this kind of pink Demoman loadout, which I think is really cool. Moving on to the next class, which is Heavy. Now my Heavy has changed a little bit since last time. I still use the minigun. I do use the Tomislav from time to time. Tomislav has been buffed quite a lot, and it seems to be better at a distance. The slower firing speed means it does less damage than the default minigun, but my minigun has got a lot of kills on it and stuff like that. I've got my Face Melting Festive Sandwich, nearly 1,500 times eaten and over 100,000 allied healing done, so I do give out a lot of sandwiches. And I like to use the Fist of Steel. It doesn't make you go faster, but it means you take less damage when you're going into a fight or running away from a fight. So I really do think those are really good. And I've got my Dragonborn helmet, Burning Flames, got a Halloween spell on it, and it's also a professional kill streak. Firehorn's Mandarin, I think, is as fiery as you can get when it comes to a professional kill streak that you can add. There's only about 5 of these in the world. It's one of my favorite hats. I've also picked up this unusual large luchador since the last video. It's got the unusual effect, something burning this way comes. It's that bat that goes around the Heavy's head that's on fire, and I think that goes quite well with the whole fire theme going on with my Heavy here. I also use the Allfather on my Heavy, just the same as I do on my Soldier. I think it goes really well, again, just looking like this kind of Dragonborn heavy theme that goes on. So yeah, it's pretty much one of my favorite loadouts. Moving on to Engineer, a lot of people calling him the Were Bunny. I always thought he looked kind of like a futuristic hippie, but with the bunny ears he does look just strange. Got again my backwards boomstick, my unusual one with isotope that goes quite well with the green loadout. I've got my Kappa, though I use that as my secondary quite a lot. Sometimes I use a Lugomorph, but these days I've been using the Kappa a lot more. And I've got my Gunslinger, which I use as well, and my strange PDA. Quite a lot of health dispensed and teleports compared to kills, but it's because I mostly play Engineer in MVM. It doesn't really count kills on your sentry. As for the hats, I've got my big country. It's got Scorching Flames. I've had this hat a long time, and it was actually just added in as a suite in an unusual trade years ago, and I've put it on my NG and I've had it ever since. I've never changed it. It's really really decent hat. Got a genuine grizzled growth as well. I really like it because it just gives that kind of green look. Green beard looks very strange, as well as my Max Severed Head. Now I made this Severed Head specialized kill streak, and it's got the Agonizing Emerald. It is painted lime, so I thought that was quite an apt kill streak to add to it. My unusual taunt for my Engineer is the Rancho Relaxo. It's skill gotten gains, so it's got the money flying out here. It can't see the chair, so it looks like the Engineer is floating, but he relaxes on his chair and it's got the money flying out of it. A lot of people saying it should just be called the Gaben chair because of all the money. But yeah, it's one of my most expensive taunts as well, because it's one of the taunts that you just press and it activates permanently, as opposed to one that you have to keep pressing a button to repeat. Moving on now to my medic. My medic is very similar. I've still got my strange festive set for my loadout, strange festive crossbow, my strange festive medigun, hail zone. Got quite a lot more Ubers and assists now, so I've got over 40,000 assists, 17,500 Ubers, and my strange festive Ubersaw. And the loadout that I have, I've got my vintage Tyrolean with Sunbeams effect. I've got my Blighted Beak, and that uses the Scorching effect. It's also a professional kill streak. I think my Blighted Beak is probably my third or fourth most expensive item, my most valuable item in my backpack. And the fact that it's got a professional kill streak as well, Singularity Mean Green, probably adds a little bit onto the price as well. And I've also used the antlers on my medic as well, the green confetti ones that we saw earlier on PYRO. And I get this triple green unusual effect on my medic. But I do play medic in comp. I play in sixes and in Highlander. And if you look like this, snipers are going to see you from a mile away. So I always like to change my loadout to something a little bit more discreet when I'm playing comp. I'll show you my my taunts first. Actually, I've got my Meet the Medic taunt with Showstopper. It's the Showstopper effect with all the fireworks. I think it is like perfect for this taunt because it is, it does have that kind of glowing background anyway, but with the fireworks it just makes it even more awesome. If we go back and we go to my secondary loadout for my medic, same weapons, except I've just changed the loadout, so I look a little bit more discreet, a little bit more poor. But I do have my gibbous I use in comp. It's a strange one. It's professional kill streak. It's the highest, the Manso signature collection, because I've got a lot of points on it. And as you can see from the kills and assists spread, I use it a lot on my medic. And the professional kill streak, again, one of those glitched professional kill streak fabricators that I used onto this to make it that. And I don't know if there's any other professional kill streak gibbuses out there, or ones that are strange for that matter, so it'll be interesting to find out if there is. I also use my Professor specs. Again, strange parts onto that. It's been strangified. Apparently I've helped 8 new users, so to those of you, I hope you enjoy the game. And finally I have my Pocket Heavy. Lots of points on that one as well. I just really like it because in Highlander you heal your heavy quite a lot, and I think it's quite apt to have my my Pocket Heavy there. Moving on to my sniper, I have a couple of loadouts on my sniper. This is my main one, which is probably behind my demo, my favorite loadout. I've got my Australian sniper rifle. I use my collector's Razorback. I like using the Razorback. I hate getting backstabbed by spies. For my melee, I just use the Bat Out of Hell. I've made a professional kill streak, and it's the haunted version. As for the actual hats, I've got a killer exclusive with the effect of Disco Beatdown. It's painted white as well, and I've got the Master's yellow belt with green energy. I picked this up before it became a misc, so it was quite cheap back in the day, and then the price has gone up extraordinarily because now you can equip it with hats as well, so you're able to have the triple effect. And I also have a Villain's Veil. This one's also been strangified, and this one is purple energy. Now when you have green energy and purple energy, it makes this white energy look, which is something I wanted on one of my classes for so long, and then I finally got it on my sniper, and then I got a killer exclusive with Disco Beatdown, and then it just tops it off with this kind of shiny look. You can actually use my HUD to zoom in, and we can see what it looks like. Very shiny, very shiny. We'll zoom out now, and we'll look at my second loadout, because if you're playing this in comp or in a lobby or a pickup or something like that, people are going to see the sniper from a mile away. So I've got a little bit more of a modest loadout as well. Same weapons, but I've got my galvanized gibbous nuts and bolts. I really like this hat simply because it's bad. It's funny because it's bad. Nuts and bolts is traditionally a bad effect. The gibbous, people always bemoan players who wear the gibbous. And to put the two together is pretty funny. And I use my Professor Specs and my Genuine Pride, Merc's Pride scarf as well. And that just gives a little bit more of a sniper that can blend in the background and not get noticed so much. I have a couple of other loadouts as well, which I don't really use too much. Got another Villain's Veil with Orbiting Fire that's been painted pink. Slap that together with my Brotherhood of Arms with Cloud9. Gives this kind of pink effect, and I've used the purple range with this one. It's a factory new. I've got all of the factory new weapons from these collections, and it kind of gives this pink effect. Maybe if I've got a hot purple range, I could have another sniper loadout that would look pretty cool. But we'll move on to, actually no we won't, because I need to do my taunt actually. Let's go back to this first loadout, and I can see this taunt. This makes it even more shiny. I'm just gonna have to move my sniper down. You can't actually see the effect, that's a shame. The effect is 72. You can see it there in the background actually. There we go. Makes him even more shiny, the disco ball shining above his head. This was actually my first ever unusual unbox. Before I uncrated this, I'd never uncrated another unusual. Since then I uncrated my Scout unusual taunt and an unusual NG hat during the Halloween update this year. But this was my first ever one, so even though it's not worth as much as my other taunts or my other unusuals, it's got a special place in my inventory because it's my first ever one. I'm going to like to keep it, and yeah, it makes it very shiny on my sniper. We'll move on to the spy now that we've seen the taunt there, and this is my spy. For those of you who remember my videos from a couple of years ago, probably remember my spy used to have a triple unusual effect, but not anymore. We'll come on to that in a minute. I use my ambassador a lot. I used to be pretty good with it. I've kind of lost a little bit of my aim, but I'm getting back into it lately. I like to use the default knife. I don't think the Spicicle has much point anymore. Since the Dead Ringer got changed so that it makes you invulnerable to fire for a couple of seconds and gives you a speed boost, the Spicicle doesn't really have much point anymore, so I use the default knife. Then this is my Dead Ringer Hail Zone as well as my knife is Hail Zone. And then I've got my Strange Sapper. I like to use the default Strange Sapper as nothing else on my spy is festive, sorry. So I like to use just the regular Sapper as opposed to the Strange festive one. I've got for my hats, I've got my fancy fedora, which is Burning Flames. This was a hat I really wanted for my spy, and I've pretty much used it ever since. I've also got a Scorching Flames Le Party Phantom. So I've got this burning and scorching flames effect going on. I used to have a second Party Phantom, which was Sunbeams. And a couple of years ago you will be able to glitch the inventory screen to allow multiple items of the same type, so you could have two Party Phantoms in 2 slots. Obviously if you try that these days it will say they conflict, so you're not allowed to wear them. together, but you were able to bypass that back in the day. So I had a sunbeams one as well, so I had this triple effect of sunbeams, scorching and burning on my spy, but alas that's not possible anymore, so I sold the sunbeams one, and since then I've picked up a genuine spy crab. It's level 69, sits on my shoulder. I have a real life one as well, that came in the post, and I think that's quite cool. And level 69 is a very sought after number, so I was pretty lucky to get a level 69 one because the numbering is random. We'll look onto the taunts. I've got the unusual taunt of BioLife, and it's got the effect of Showstopper. We can have a look at it here. But I think it's pretty cool. It just makes the spy look pretty good. A lot of people recommending I get a skill gotten gains one for the BioLife. Pretty sure that's going to be more expensive, but maybe it's something I can look into for the future, because that would look pretty cool as well with all of the money in the background. So maybe that's something I need to look forward to. And obviously my unusual conga I have on everything as well. Fountain of Delight, and it's you just press the key once and you have an unusual conga walking indefinitely in a server. A lot of people notice you when you do that. But that's my those are my loadouts, guys. That's my loadouts from updated as of the end of 2015. Inevitably there's probably going to be some changes over the coming months and over the coming year, so you know, if people are interested I may do another one in a year's time, but I hope a lot of people are happy that I finally got around to doing this latest one. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Dance like no one's shooting at us.